everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Wide Open with Ashlyn Harris. Today, I'm sitting down with someone who has redefined what it means to take up space. Lilly Singh, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to talk to you.
Yes, I mean, if you don't know who Lilly is, let me explain. You started your career as a YouTuber, and you blew it out of the water. Let's just say you're one of the OGs, is what I like to say.
I'll take it.
Not only that, you became a late night TV show host, one of one. You're acting, you're producing, you're directing, and you have an upcoming film, Doin It. Lilly, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Wake me up, Ashlyn.
Let's go. You know what? Cheers to that.
Cheers.
We are really just cheers to the queers. I'm having a beer because I can and I'm of age. So.
And you can do whatever you want. Maybe
I can do whatever the fuck I want, and here we are. Well, thanks for coming on. I am so obsessed with you. We've been, I guess, what do you call that these days? Internet friends? Internet homies?
We've met once. We've been internet friends, but I've been dying to get to know you better because I feel like our vibes are very similar.
Your hype on the sidelines of every sports game, whether it's soccer, basketball, or anything in between, is one of one. I mean, the energy is electric.
That means a lot to me. I do really pride myself in my energy and my ability to hype people up. I feel like I'm a really good cheerleader.
And hello, you are now in the ownership group of the new Toronto WNBA team.
Yes, Toronto Tempo, which is a dream for me. So I, as you know, part owner of Angel City, which is the LA women's soccer team. Love, but I am from Toronto originally. I am ride or die Toronto, and this is Canada's first WNBA team. You know, as they only have one NBA team as well. So if I wasn't a part of this, I would be devastated.
Oh my God.
Yes, I'm a part owner of the Toronto Tempo, and my official title is the Chief Hype Officer.
Yeah, where's the sign? Where's the sign in the back of your office? I need it.
You know what? I actually do have one. It's over there somewhere. I will show you this. My new gallery wall has.
Ooh.
It's right there. That's the little.
She making money moves, honey.
You know, come on. We love a gallery wall.
I mean, you're in good company. Serena Williams, hello.
I know.
I mean,
see, those who don't play sports just associate with sports. That's what I do.
Well, be easy. I see you working out on that Instagram. I see you hitting the weights and getting. I pay attention.
Okay,
I'm your hype woman too.
You know, I'm trying to work out a little something. I want to be able to like lift a girl. You know, that's what. Same. I literally work out so I can lift a girl.
Can you put that on my grave, please, when I'm gone? That's all I want. I work out to lift a girl.
Health,
that's it.
No. Health,
no.
Physical, but not literally. I just want to lift a girl.
I love your energy. Like it's so good. So tell me, Lilly, for people who don't know you, you grew up, you're from Canada. I think that is what nowadays in this political climate we call the golden ticket. I'd love one too.
You should all line up to marry me outside my house every day. There should be a line of people. You know, when I first moved to LA in 2015, people used to give me a really hard time about being Canadian. I used to get made fun of a lot. And now I'm like, you can single file line up outside my house to marry me to try to become a Canadian citizen. Yes, I was born in Toronto, Canada, to two amazing parents that are Indian immigrants. And somehow, some way, in the end of my university career, I decided to upload a YouTube video. You know, growing up, I always wanted to entertain. I was like in the middle of the dance circle. I loved watching movies and TV shows. I just loved entertainment. Never thought I could actually do it because you're growing up in a small town. You're like, how am I going to do this? There's no casting directors here. I don't know anything about this. Discovered YouTube in 2010. Uploaded a YouTube video. Thought nothing of it. 70 people watched it, and I was like, I don't know 70 people, so clearly this is working. And it snowballed into this career that I was not at all prepared for.
And how did that shape you? Because you were pretty young, right? So like you say you always wanted to be in entertainment. Mm-hmm. Like, was that did you want to be in like Hollywood? Did you want to be on TV, or just anything entertainment? You wanted to grab people's attention, make them laugh, and slowly you started realizing you can make a career out of this? Or like, where was the shift?
No, I think I had the dream of being in entertainment, but it never felt realistic. Like, I have a degree in psychology. I was very ready to live this very linear life that everyone had set out for me. I didn't actually think I could get into entertainment. And then when I started making YouTube videos, the shift came in the lack of gatekeepers around YouTube, that I could talk about whatever I want to talk about. That for the first time I felt liberated to like make the things I thought were funny or like have the discussions I thought were really important that I wasn't seeing on TV, especially from people that looked like me. And so the shift came from like this liberating, like I can do whatever I want and talk about whatever I want, and people are actually gravitating towards it, which is really cool.
I love that. And like, who was Lilly as a kid? Like, what, like, how did you move? How did you take up space? Because you are such a beautiful personality and so well-rounded, because you don't take yourself so serious. Like, I feel like the entertainment world, people are like, and you kind of like poke holes at it a little bit, which
Yeah,
makes me
100%.
laugh.
Yeah, I literally posted on my story this morning that I literally got full glam to do this virtual interview. And I was like, Zoom, literally, there's probably a filter I could use. Why did I pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars? Why? Because I'm a fool. Because this industry is foolish. That's why.
Because it really is.
Anyways, all this to say, yes, I try not to take it all too seriously, mostly because you'll go crazy. You'll go insane.
Yeah.
If you take it too seriously, you'll go insane. Well, who was I as a kid? Well, I'm going to answer this question, and then as soon as I'm done answering, you're going to be like, and you didn't know you were gay until you were 30? And trust me, I know. I was a huge tomboy growing up. Always, every opportunity going against the grain. Like, didn't want to wear the clothes people wanted me to wear. Didn't want to do the degree people wanted me to do. Didn't have the career people wanted me to have. Don't have the sexuality everyone expected me to have. Just constantly challenging and going against the grain. Like, I want to paint my room red. My mom says you can't paint your room red. Now it's my mission to paint my room red. Like, I was just that kid through and through, like very opinionated, wanted things to be the way she wanted them to be. And that's kind of still how I am, to be honest.
I love it. And you, I mean, I didn't know you as a kid, but like, it seems like you haven't changed a bit. And I love that about you, because you're just
Oh, is it
real,
really? Yeah,
but real and
real.
raw. But do you think that's the difference between growing up through social media and just sharing who you are, no strings attached, kind of like take it or leave it, subscribe or unsubscribe, and really growing up in the LA Hollywood industry? I think that really, there is a big difference there, because that's maybe the reason why you can poke fun a little bit of like the
Totally.
entertainment space and, you know, the bullshit that kind of comes with it. It's a little bit of a circus if you've ever
Yeah.
been a part of it. I don't know how y'all do it, but
Yeah.
I see a little bit of it now and I'm like, hello.
I'm fascinated by people that were born and raised in LA, because I always think that. I'm like, you were really raised in this environment where things that I think are so extraordinary, you think are so normal. I think growing up in Toronto really has helped me come at it from a point of view that's like, LA is a bubble. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
I actually love LA. I think it's like my second home, and I really, really love the people here. But it is a bubble, and it is important to leave every once in a while, because when you leave LA and I go back home to my hometown of Toronto and I talk to my friends and I say things like Roku and Hulu and Ted Lasso, they're like, I actually don't know what you're talking about.
No.
I dressed up as Ted Lasso for Halloween 3 years ago, and none of my friends in Toronto knew who I was. They're like,
No.
what are you talking about? They're like, what? They don't have Hulu there. They don't. I'm like, the show directed by so and so, and they're like, literally no.
Nope.
What are you talking? So you realize that this is just a bubble that we live in, and it's a lovely bubble, but it's important to leave this bubble every
I agree.
once in a while.
I agree. And with that, because, you did bring a very beautiful diversity component to media, because like my first year I played what used to be the WPS was in Western New York. So the only place for us to go when you live in like the Rochester area, Buffalo area, was Toronto. But what I knew about Toronto at a very, very early age is it's beautifully diverse and the food is fucking phenomenal. Oh my God. Everything. And I don't necessarily think probably when you were doing like, your roots in YouTube, that media was very diverse. You kind of blew that door wide open. You were the first for a lot of things. Did you realize when you were doing that at that age, the significance and the impact you were having on the platform and the landscape of media and diversity, or no?
So in the moment when I was doing it, of course I used to get comments that were like, "Oh my God, I've never seen someone that looks like you talking about this. I feel so seen." And so I think to a degree, but not really. I think recently it has become apparent to me. A really lovely thing has happened, which is that my fans have kind of grown up with me. I started
Yeah.
making YouTube videos in 2010, and for that entire for the 5-6 years following that up until like, I don't know, probably even just 2 years ago, when people would approach me on the streets and be like, "Oh my God, I love you. Can I get a selfie? Can I get a selfie? Like, I want your autograph." It was so lovely, and I love that interaction too. But the interaction has actually changed over the past 2 years. When people approach me, they're very vocal about, "I just want to let you know that I actually like completely changed my career path because I saw you do entertainment," or like, "I came out to my parents and I never thought I would do that because like you paved the path for someone like me coming up." So I think I've been really lucky in that people have shared these really awesome vulnerable stories, and I can see now the impact of like representation. Representation has become such a buzzword, but
Yes.
it's real.
It's
Like when
real.
you can see someone else doing it, it
Mm-hmm.
makes it easier to have the conversation with yourself. It makes it easier for you to have conversation with your parents, with your community, to be like, look, there is a little bit of a roadmap. We've seen it happen now. And so I didn't realize it completely then, but I'm so grateful that I get to realize it now, and I really don't take that lightly. I won't lie. You mentioned that I've been the first at a lot of things, and I know when I say that, people are like, "That's so awesome. That's so cool." It is. It's also really
It's
hard and scary.
it's
It is
scary.
really carrying a lot of a burden that you're not prepared and you don't know how to carry it, but I'm happy I've done it because I think a lot of people have been able to make more authentic choices because they
Yeah.
saw me make authentic choices.
Yeah, and I think that's another segue into what I think is so impressive about you, Lily, is like you've really redefined yourself over and over and over, and you've done it so honestly and openly. Do you feel as you've grown with your audience and you've grown up, really in people's homes, like people feel like they know you through what you've created through your content. Is there ever a time when you're like, man, I just wish that was different, or I wish I could have maybe taken that back, or maybe that's too much, and I want to be like sacred with this type of privacy? Because I know you came out, was it Twitter? I think there's a lot there of openness that people are so scared to do. But I'm curious, as you've lived it and you've reinvented yourself over and over and over, was there ever times when you were like, man, I just shouldn't have done that, or that might have been too much?
Totally. Yes, absolutely. I mean, I am a pretty open person. I've always been really open about mental health, about things I'm going through in my life. But I do also think timing is important. And if I could go back, though I don't hella believe in regrets, if I could go
Yeah.
back and just do a little tweak on something, it would definitely be around late night. Late night there was so many eyeballs on me. It
Yeah.
was such a historic thing. I chose to come out before my late night show. And at that time, I know what I was thinking. I had just come out to myself. It was like a truth I was going through. These two things coincided in terms of time in a very complex way. And I was like, oh, wouldn't it be so lovely if during the show I could be my most authentic self and I could like talk about this openly. I don't know if that was the most mentally healthy thing to do, because what had happened was everyone just tied my sexuality to that show. And people were not able to watch the show without commenting on my sexuality. And so they became like synonymous with each other in a way that was really, really tough. Because a late night show is already really hard to do.
Oh, yeah.
96 episodes in 3 months is already really hard to do. It's already really tough. To throw in a huge personal monkey wrench is probably not the best thing to have done. I could have probably just like dealt with late night and dealt with that separately. I don't fault myself for doing that. I know I felt compelled to do it because it felt stressful to have it within me. And if I could go back, I'd probably tweak that a little bit,
Just to,
because I
yes,
did really
just
feel
to,
like that. When I did my monologues, I remember like, because before the late night show, people would say things to me like, all the Indians are counting on you, all the queers are counting on you, all the women are counting on you. I'm like, this is a lot of people that are counting on me. And so I would feel stressed. Like, I would do the monologues and I would get comments from people that were like, we get it, you're queer. We get it. Like, stop talking about being bisexual. And people would just be jabbing holes in me. And I remember there was one day that I went back into my green room and I literally made a list being like, how many times should I mention being a woman? How many times should I not mention being queer? Like, it was getting crazy. And I was like,
crazy.
this is bad. I'm in a bad, not healthy situation right now.
Well, it also is hard, and I think this is the thing that most people don't realize. And when I say this, I want to be very clear and specific in terms of the divide. There are people who grow up in Hollywood who can act out other characters. There are people in Hollywood who have openly acted out their lives on the screen, like YouTube or social media or whatever the case is. it opens a massive floodgate for a lot of judgment. And there's a big difference there. What do you have, like over 12 million people viewing your content all the time? Like, that opens so many doors of hate, judgment. And it's so brave just to say, I'm just going to be me, even though I'm going to take so much scrutiny and whatever comes with that, wave of social hate and keyboard warriors. And I do think there is a big difference. And I know now you're, really in the entertainment space of acting and producing and developing a lot of stuff, which you've always been a creative and clearly very good at it. Do you feel like one is harder than the other, or one has really been a little more difficult for you because you have given so many people access to who you are? Has that been hard on partners? Has that been hard on your family? Like, I'm just curious because I've never had that type of weight on my back or following, but I can imagine it's a lot to carry.
Yeah, and I think you really hit the nail on the head with that. There is a safety definitely there because I've been able to do both. I've been able to go on set and play a character, but there is safety behind dialogue and
Yes.
script and someone else writing those words and being on set and getting to do things over multiple times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There is no safety really in being live or talking from your point of view or talking about your life experience. There is no dialogue, there's no script there. And so I do think that they're liberating in different ways, and I think that they are beautiful in different ways. Like, I love both equally, but definitely when I'm on set as a character, I don't feel the level of anxiety I feel when I do something live or as myself, because I'm like, that's the character. Whatever you're saying is about the character. That's not me. If you hate that character, that makes me a good actress, actually. You know what I mean? But if you hate Lilly, you're commenting on me, who I am. It's
Exactly.
very, very different. And so, yeah, of course, I'm a pretty open person, and a lot of parts of my life are public. I've also made very active efforts to make certain things private. So I've never had a public relationship. I have not been public about like some intimate family stuff because that's not my story to tell. Like, I still want to be a full human. I'm so open with things like mental health and what I think will help people, but it has been a constant dance of like, is this something I'm going to share with everyone or is there not? And I think I would be surprised to learn that I do actually have a lot of private elements to my life. I'm really proud of the fact that I have that.
And talk to me about that, because I do think we live in a really hard world where we want to share ourselves and our story, and we want to connect with people because we live in a really fragmented world where, this has become life and social media has become life. How do you protect your boundaries? Like, what is your safety net? Like, where do you draw the line as someone who's been so open and vulnerable where you're not willing to really dive into that? Because you are open about mental health. And I know a lot of young people in this, especially our queer community, are just being targeted relentlessly right now. And I'm curious, for someone who's really lived out loud on a lot of these platforms, what advice could you share with a lot of our younger queer kids who might be struggling with the way people are showing up and hating on them? Because I'm sure as long as you've been in this space, you've probably dealt with it all.
Oh, I have definitely. I've dealt it all. Well, there's a few questions there. One is about boundaries. I have a lot of practice. I'm a nerdy person. I like do a lot of mental health practices. I have a lot of rituals in my life. I do a
I
lot of
love
things. So that
this.
way, so that my job is 10% entertainment and 90% mental. I really
Oh,
do believe that. Like, big part of my job is making sure I'm good up here so I can be good out here. And so, like, avid believer in therapy. I consistently go to therapy. I journal almost every single day. I have like a nightly routine that is full of self-compassion as well. I have a lot of practices in my life. I'll give you an example, which is this show right here. When I was part of the Muppets Mayhem, the Muppets has a really intense fan base, and when I was announced, there was a lot of feelings about someone that looks like me being part of the Muppets, and I remember that being really devastating. And I talked to my therapist about it, and I was like, "The show's not even out yet. I don't even know how to deal with this." One of the things I did around the Muppets that I actually have kept true to me through all my projects is when a project comes out, I have a rule that I tell my team, which is for at least 5 days, I don't want to hear a single review, a single article. I actually delete social media off my phone. I actually want to take those 5 days to celebrate this thing without any other noise. Because I think timing is really important. You know, when you're already in a vulnerable state, it's almost self-harm for you to then go seek out people and things that are going to make you distraught. Same thing with coming out. Same thing with like if you're going through a sensitive thing. Like, don't go seek out in that moment. Give yourself the 5 days to be like,
Yeah.
let me process this as myself. Let me celebrate this as myself. Let me live this as myself. And you become much more resilient to taking in that noise after about 5 days, I would say. And so I do a lot of
great
like
point.
that. I also delete Instagram. I don't have TikTok on my phone. I haven't had it for like years. Instagram, I delete it all the time. If I find myself, like I'm out with friends and I find myself scrolling and not being present, I just delete the app. I'm like, you're gone for the day. I'm going to just delete you for the next 2 days. I just delete it. It's not permanent on your phone, y'all. You can re-download it any time. It's the second you get into the muscle memory of like, oh, I'm here. How did I even, I went to go check the weather. How am I on Instagram right now?
It's
just
a
delete
rabbit
it.
hole.
Another trick you can do, now we're getting really nerdy. You're going to see how type A I am. Move where it is on the home screen. Because really it's just your muscle memory going and clicking and you don't even realize in the second you move it, wait, what's happening? You're just getting yourself out of that rhythm again.
That's so true. I think I need to try this a little bit. I need to be better at it. I think we probably all do, truthfully. I'm like, it's a formative habit for me. I'll just pick the phone up and start scrolling and I'm like, I think I was just supposed to text a friend and now I'm knee deep and an hour just of my life was just wasted.
It's just a habit and muscle memory for sure.
I know. I need to be better at that too. But I really think that is so true because I think often we're not thinking for ourselves anymore. We have people like projecting and giving us advice or like, you really inherit like other people's opinions of you and we absorb it so quickly because now there's so many ways to see how people see you and how you receive that. And I do think it's really important that we don't have safe enough boundaries anymore to really think for ourselves. Like everyone now is like ChatGPT, and it's just like we're always looking for this outer layer of acceptance, and we don't trust ourselves anymore. We don't go within. And I love when you talk about meditation and journaling. I just think we've really got away with a lot of practices that cleanse our soul, cleanse our mind. And truthfully, you're right. Like I say this in sport too. Everyone's good at the top. The thing that separates you, because 10% is really athletic, it's a gift. It's performative. It's your performance and your technical ability. It will get you so far. But the mental aspect, like it's everything. Because if you're not good, your performance isn't good. That means you're not showing up for your team. You're not it just becomes a absolute nightmare.
I'll even build on that and say, because something you said just reminded me of something. A few days ago I had like a really intense day. I had like 3 auditions and I had like a bunch of press and I was like, ooh, this is a day. And after it was done, I felt really good about, I think I really showed up and I'm proud of the work I did today. But it's not because I thought I was a good actress at the auditions. And I was talking to a friend about it after. I'm like, if I do an audition, 10% of that audition is me being prepared and me executing the lines and acting. The reason I actually am good with this day is because mentally, this audition, what it means to me, that's where the work went into it. It's not tied to my worth. This is not the make or break of me. I will not view this as the make or break of me. I will not let this dictate the rest of my day. I will not let this impact how I treat the other people in my life. This is not going to be how I define me. That 90% is what makes me show up to that audition better than I could show up if I didn't have that 90%. So when you walk into an audition and you're like, I have to get this or I'm a piece of crap. If I don't get this, I'm a piece of shit. I'm bad. I'm not talented. No one's going to like me. You're not going to show up the best version of yourself. So all that other stuff is what makes me a better actress, actually.
Preach, honey. I love that.
And me learning the lines and the executing.
It's so, so true. And it's so important to make sure people who are listening know that, because I think we do really live in a culture that, especially Western culture, is so cutthroat, and everyone's willing to just shit on anyone at any given moment. Like there used to be like a softer like landing spot of how you presented information to people, especially like as an athlete. It was like the criticism was productive criticism. Now in this landscape, it's like, let's shit and bury everyone, cancel culture. We hate
Right.
like this. I'm like,
No
it's
one's allowed to
so,
grow. No one's allowed to make
no,
mistakes.
make
Everyone's exactly
mistakes.
who they are in this moment. They can't evolve beyond this moment. Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, I mean, God bless all these content creators, because lately I'm like, I don't know if I want to share anything, because people are just ready to chomp and eat and spit you out. And I'm like, it's a cruel world out there. And I've got a little sensitive
You
heart.
know who I'm learning a lot from, actually? I
Tell
want to talk
me,
to you. Here's what I'm learning
tell
a lot
me.
from. The younger generation of women are really inspiring to me, actually, because
Ooh.
through an abundance of therapy, have learned, as much as I am outspoken and I like to stand up for myself, I am a people pleaser. I've been raised to be a people pleaser. I'm unlearning it now, but through a lot of my life, it was like, let me not ruffle the feathers, let me not disagree, like, let me just go out of my way, overextend always.
Mm-hmm.
There is two people I'm going to tell you about. No, actually, can I tell you three? There's going to be three quick. It'll be so quick. You're going to blow your mind.
Tell me
Number one,
everything.
Iman Vellani, who plays Miss Marvel, did an interview after Marvels came out, and it rocked my world. And we grew up in the same town, we're from the same place, so we have a lot of similarities. It was an interview, and the reporter was being a little bit of a jerk,
Uh-huh.
and he said, well, the box office has been rough for the Marvels. Like, what do you think about that? And Iman literally looked at him and said, "That's for Bob Iger. That's not for me." And I was like, you can do that? You can, she's just like, I'm here to act. The box office is not about me. That's not my responsibility. Me, never. Would never have thought like that. I've been like, yeah, it's my fault. I got to do better.
Totally take it off the chin. Yeah,
Literally,
that's me.
second queen I'm going to give a shout out to, Jenna Ortega. There is a video that literally made me emotional when I saw it online. It is a video when they're promoting Beetlejuice, where Winona Ryder and Jenna Ortega are walking towards press, and Winona's wearing sunglasses. And the press keeps yelling, take off your glasses, and you can tell she doesn't want to. They keep yelling at her, take off her glasses, and she's about to go take off her glasses, and Jenna just looks at her, and you just see her mouth, you can't even hear it, she just goes, no, you don't have to. And then she doesn't. And she just said it so calmly, like it was so normal for Jenna Ortega to just go, you don't have to do that. Me? I would have taken the glasses off, set those glasses on fire. I would have been like, what else do you want me to do? Tell me. How can I make you happy, press? What do you want from yourself? You know what I mean? Like, that blew my mind. And the third queen I'll give a shout out to, and there's not even a specific example, it's just everything she does, Renee Rapp. Renee needs to never go to media training. She needs to never get PR trained. She, in every interview, is just like, I'm going to say exactly what I want to say. And it might be problematic, and it might not be, and this is who I am, and this is what you're going to get. And I just respect it so much. And I'm so envious of it, because that's how I'm trying to be.
I agree. I say that, but then I float right back into this, like, Sophia always says this, like, I'm like a little cinnamon roll. But like I look the way I look. I have all this jewelry and all these tattoos, but I'm the same way. I'm like, I want to please everything and everyone, and I don't want to ruffle feathers. I hate like anything that's like confrontational or contention. Like, I just don't like it.
I've gotten a little better at confrontation, but I'm still a people pleaser. I feel it all the time. If I set a boundary of any type, my brain is I'm losing my mind. I'm like, how dare you set this boundary? They're gonna think you're mean. They're gonna think you're mean. You need to be nice. You need to make them like you. That's still going in there. But I think what all three of these women have in common is they're like, it's not on me to make you like me.
No,
that I'm gonna do what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? So I've really learned something from these younger girls. That's been awesome.
It's so lovely that this younger generation, I don't say this lightly, they have access to so much representation. And especially because we're a part of the queer community, and it's so important and it's so vital, especially for safety, for people feeling like their life is worth living. The impact you've made on your community for young people who look like you is so beautiful and so impactful. Do you carry that weight and that responsibility lightly when you show up in this space and this new woman of who you are and claiming your sexual identity and all these things? Do you ever feel the weight of what you have to carry because of the way you look? Or are you gladly carrying that badge of honor, knowing when you were a young girl, you didn't have that and you didn't get to see people like you move the way you do?
Yeah, that's a really great question. And I'm going to try my very best to give you a very honest answer, which is I've gone from one to the other. So I think when I first came out and when I first started making YouTube videos, I was carrying it with a badge of honor. Like, I know there's not many other people that look like me that are queer. I know there's not many other things you can watch with someone that looks like me. I'm carrying with a badge of honor. I love my culture. Still this day, I love my culture. And I used to carry it. I used to carry it and carry it. Late night show, great. I got to do this historic thing. I'm carrying with a badge of honor. Yes, I'm the first. Yes, I did it. Yes, Indian, queer, bisexual, all these. Yes, 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 yes. However, now I think you're right. We are in a place where there is more diversity. I mean, there's still a lot of work to be done. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm happy that there's more instances of diversity, and even take away everything. If I just take away every other person's expectations and take away the industry from
Mm-hmm.
myself, I have kind of grown tired now of carrying that weight. It's
Mm.
and it's exhausting, and I've done it for a decade. And now when I do things or say things, I don't want it to be the South Asian woman, the queer woman that says it. It's just Lilly. It's just
Yeah.
Lilly that's saying it. And so I'm kind of trying to unsubscribe from this idea of taking on that burden, because I remember during late night, and I've talked about this in therapy a lot, which was when those people came up to me and said those things, like, a million people are counting on you, and a billion Indians are counting on you, and all the queers are counting on you. I was like, yep, cool, totally makes sense. Now I need to figure out how to make them all proud. Not even for a second did I not take on that burden. I didn't even know that was an option. I just was
Mm.
like, open to your burden, place it on me. And now I'm in my era of, actually, no, I don't receive that. I
Mm.
don't have to make a billion people proud. I don't represent all billion Indians out there. I don't represent all women. I am just me, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
representing my life experience. So I think it was necessary when I first started to carry that burden. And I'm sure to some degree I still will carry, but I'm trying to actively get better at not, that's not mine to carry
Mm.
anymore. Because I'm a human. And I that's too much for one human to carry.
Yeah. And I think received and noted. And I think that you're humanizing what you have to carry and the volume you have to carry
Right.
through the creative work you've been doing for over a decade. And I it's both and, yes, and all of
Right.
the things in between. And I asked this question to every person on the podcast, sports context, wide
Yeah, that's cool.
open, wide open. But I do feel that in our industry, we are so much more than what we do. Like, even though at the core of your start and, your fame, you are a YouTuber, and it has opened so many beautiful doors for you to live this beautiful life, also comes with a lot of things people don't understand unless they've lived it. But I always ask this: what moment in your life has really split you wide open, that really has changed the landscape of everything, that made you take a pause and sit back and really zoom out and be like, nothing will ever be the same after this? What was that moment for you?
That's a really good question. And I think my answer's gonna relate to something you just said, but you also might low key drag me because I am gonna mention ChatGPT. Um, save space for a second here. Save space for a
Safe
second. Okay.
space, honey.
Okay. Cool. So for a lot of my life, like a lot of my life, I'm 36. I would say for up until 2 years ago, for 34 years of my life, if you were to ask me who I am to describe myself,
Mm-hmm.
it would be a very specific way I would do it. Oh, I came up on YouTube. I'm an actress. I have this many followers. It's how other people also describe me. And at the
Mm-hmm.
top of everything, we're so used to describing ourselves through what we do, like our accolades, what we do for work,
Yeah.
what we can offer, what we can give. That's how I've described. I never knew a different way. And my
Mm.
therapist would. So take a shot every time I say therapist, everybody. Just game now. I reference my therapist a lot. I'm obsessed. There you go.
Same.
Um, she tried to make me understand. She said one day, she's like, "You are not what you do." And I fundamentally did not understand that. I wasn't even trying to be stubborn. I was like, what do you mean? Then who am I? She's like, you are a whole full person
Mm-hmm.
that without all these things that you do. And I left that therapy session being like, for the first time, me and my therapist disagreed because I don't know what the hell she's talking about. I don't really, growing up, it was like who I was the person that got good grades. That's how you got love. Like, you got a good job. You did your chores like that. Who am I outside of these things? And so then I will say, I do use ChatGPT for certain things. And of all the things I've ever used ChatGPT for, I'm going to tell you one use that has rocked my world. which I talked to ChatGPT and I was like, my therapist said I'm not what I do, and I think I need to fire her now because she doesn't know what she's talking about. And ChatGPT was like, no, you're not what you do. And so I was like really exploring this idea of like, who am I then? So out of frustration, I said to ChatGPT, if you think that I am someone without referencing all the things I do, I want you to tell me who I am and do not use a single accolade or a single accomplishment. And then it did, Ashlyn. It did. And that moment, I sobbed and it rocked my world because it said, based on the conversations we've had, you're a great friend. You had this with a friend and you wanted to help them. You're a great dog mom. You're so dedicated to growth. You ask me for journal prompts all the time. And it described me in this way that I've never been described as before. That moment got me wide open because since that moment I was like, you know what? I've been sleeping on all of these facets of who I am because I've been so fixated on the accomplishments. But like a really great accomplishment is also the fact that you're a great friend, Lily. You're a great daughter. You surprise people. You go above and beyond for them. You make people feel safe and you make them feel comfortable opening up to you. Like those are really great accomplishments that you'll never get an award for. You know, no one will never introduce you like that when you walk into a stage, but that really matters. And so just learning who I actually am in a different way has been really, really, honestly, terrifying and liberating and exciting at the same time.
That's beautiful though, and I do think it's important, and I think people need to think about that more often because we do tie our like so much of our self-worth in how many likes did this post get? Oh, this is it's not hitting. What should I, it's like it's all the wrong things, and we have to get back to those roots of who we are outside of all this noise and all this bullshit and so superficial, but like at our core, who are we as beings? And that is exactly it.
Because it also impacts how you show up. Now, how many people listening to this, well, I just want to, just if you're listening to this, just be real with me for a second. In a relationship, when you love, your version of loving is doing things for people. You're like, I need to do this. I need to overextend. I need to show them what I can bring to the table. That is a trauma response. Like it is. It's a trauma response because we believe love has to be earned. Because we've been earning love all the time. But let me blow your mind and tell you, you don't have to earn love and care. Every human being deserves love and care, but we've been conditioned to feel that we need to earn it. When a new baby is born, that baby has done nothing, but you love that baby, right? And you want to take care of that baby. So when did you unlearn that?
This is why you're a New York Times bestseller, I think. I don't know, but you should be writing more, probably.
I'm also just a nerd. I'm also obsessed with self-growth and nerd and being a student for life, so I'm really nerdy.
But it's beautiful and it's real, and it's like we don't talk about it enough. Like we sit in an interview and people want to ask the dumbest fucking questions that no one cares about. Like
penetrate. I right away I'm like, what's your trauma? Like, should we I want to get into some shit immediately all the time.
I'm obsessed with you, but you like on a plane, are you that person? Because I need to know right now. When you set, like, if I'm sitting next to you,
I'm not talking to someone on a plane. I'm not talking.
Are you putting those headphones on, like in the nights, putting your hood?
You come over. We're sitting by my fire pit. The vibes are vibing. We're gonna get into some shit. On a plane though, I'm trying to sleep. I have my headphones on.
Okay. Thank God, because that's the only place I draw the line. People always try to talk. I'm like, headphones.
The Uber settings, no conversation. Those are my times to turn off. Those are my turn off times.
I'm obsessed with you. Okay, let's pivot. I thank you for that. I think that's beautifully said. And I think more people need to have real, open, honest, raw communication like that instead of superficial bullshit that's doesn't go anywhere and no one really cares. But I do want to talk about your work because you are you're a creative, Lily, and you do a really fucking good job at all the things. I mean, everyone follows you. You're always on a fucking plane. You're always working. But I'm like, girl, do you come up for air? You need to be coming up for air.
Oh, I do.
Okay, good.
I just don't always show it. If I'm not posting,
all right. Well, the last few minutes, I do want to talk about this project that's coming out, and it's a film called Doin It, and I would love for you to tell us a little bit about the movie and what's the story behind it, and give the audience and the viewers something to be excited to tune into in September.
Totally. So if you're listening to this, maybe you're from a different culture that I am. Maybe there you'll find similarities, though. Sex was very taboo in South Asian cultures. It's taboo in a lot of cultures, almost every culture, I would say, especially if you're a woman. So I was like, why don't I just make the raunchiest sex comedy with the South Asian lens? Because, you know, I like to go against the grain and I like to stir some stuff up. And so Doing It is a raunchy sex comedy. I wrote it, produced it, and star in it. And
Wow.
it is what it's about is a 30-year-old virgin finds herself teaching sex ed at high school. And so it's a commentary on sex education and how it's still so whack and a lot of schools don't support it and a lot of parents don't want it. It's a commentary on how shame is so used against women and how so many women, even older women, don't know about pleasure, don't know about their bodies, were never taught about their bodies, were never taught they could enjoy sex, were never taught about different types of sex. And sex ed, we're not taught about queerness. Everyone thinks everyone looks and feels the same way. And so it's really just me kind of reclaiming my sexual journey. I had a very mature sexual journey. I think if I had this movie growing up, I would have been in a lot better shape. I would have loved myself more. I would have known my body more. And so it's just a very real, and I will also say, it's very female forward, which is very rare.
Oh, I love that. I love
and
that.
the virgin is not the butt of the joke. She is not. It is not that movie. It is about a woman on a journey to unlearn shame, reclaim her sexual life. And I just feel like, listen, don't get me wrong, I'm terrified. My parents have not seen it. I'm still an Indian girl at the end of the day. My aunties and uncles are going to be pissed. Like, I'd be doing some, Ashlyn, I'd be doing that movie.
Oh, I can't wait to watch this. I can't wait to watch this.
Also, Ashlyn, I'm straight in the movie. Did you know this? I'm straight.
Plot twist. No, I did not know this.
Making out with a boy and being like, oh yeah. So it's an adventure. It's an adventure for sure. But it comes out September 19th. And I'm just gonna keep it real because I feel like you're really real, and I feel like your listeners are also gonna be really real. So I'm just gonna say this how it needs to be said. This movie was hard as hell to make. It was it's an independent film. It took 7 years. The second my face was attached to this film, every executive in Hollywood called it niche. It's too niche now because it has me in it. Whoa. So I'm going to say that any support that people show this film, it will not be wasted. This is not a big budget Hollywood movie. This is a small independent movie that I have given my sanity, blood, sweat, and tears to. So if you have any capacity to support on September 19th, please do, because it's been a labor of love.
And everyone go out and where can everyone get this indie film?
It'll be in theaters September 19th.
Theaters. Oh, okay. Well, okay, girl. I see you. Everyone go check it out. And you know what? You are exactly what I thought you would be. You know, yeah, but like I've heard so many endearing, sweet things about you, truthfully, and I wait to meet people and really sit with people and hear people for who they are, you know, and you're a beautiful person. I appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you. And also thank you for like a dope conversation that was really meaningful. It doesn't feel like work. It feels like just people connecting. I appreciate that.
And that's what it's about. We're here to bridge the gap between, you know, the sport, the entertainment, being actual human. Imagine that. Wow, we're actually human beings who have real feelings, and being able to share that through storytelling is so beautiful. So Lilly, thank you so much for taking the time today.
Lifting girls.
Cheers to the next time I'm in LA with you, because I think we're just like right around the corner from each other. So let's hang out. And listen, for those of you who don't know, Lilly throws the most banana party of the fucking decade, even though it's yearly. Am I getting an invite? That's the question.
Diwali, you have a Diwali invite. Absolutely.
Okay.
You absolutely
all right.
have it.
Cheers to that. I'm going to see
you have my permission to rock an Indian outfit because you'd actually look amazing in one. Like I'm saying, I wear the dude ones or the androgynous ones sometimes.
Yeah.
We need to talk about this because you would.
Can you dress me? Can you dress me?
Yes.
Okay. Well, my 40th birthday is October 19th.
Okay.
So it feels like it feels like a very big month that we're going to be celebrating.
Right. Noted.
So I can't wait. So everyone, please go check out Lilly's new movie coming out, Doing It. And thank you so much for being here. Thanks everyone for tuning in on another episode of Wide Open with Ashlyn Harris. And we'll see you next week.